about cooking a whole turkey. And there's a really good thread in the group today and yesterday talking about different methods of cooking a whole turkey. I personally never cook sous vide whole turkeys. I break it apart because I really like the white meat at 140 and the dark meat at 148. And I think it's a little bit easier to handle the individual parts than it is an entire turkey. And this goes for chicken as well. But if you do want the presentation of an entire turkey or want to do it for whatever reason, you have a few options. The the temperature really depends what you want to um, not have cooked perfectly. Like I said, I like 140 for white meat and 148 for dark meat. So if I want the white meat cooked perfectly, I'll cook it at 140, and the darker meat will be a little less cooked than I prefer. Or I can do 148, and the white meat's going to be drier. It'd still be better than a traditional turkey, but it'll be drier than I prefer. But the dark meat will be cooked perfectly. So you can do somewhere in between if you want them both slightly off. But that's kind of where the temperature would come in. For timing, it's going to depend on how you prepare it. A lot of people recommend spatchcocking it, which is when you basically make it so it can lay flat, and that way you're only heating through, 2 to 4 inches instead of an entire bird. Because the biggest problem with cooking a turkey whole that hasn't been broken down at all is this giant air cavity in the middle that is preventing things from cooking, and you need to fill it with something that can circulate the heat. You don't want to just stuff it with stuffing or something like that, because now, if you look at the time and temperature charts that we've been talking about, it takes, for a 3 inch thick piece of meat, you're looking at about 5 hours to cook through. So if you're looking at a turkey that's 10 inches or 12 inches, you're talking about 14, 15 hours probably to heat it all the way through. And at that point, some of the stuff on the outside could be overcooked. Some of the stuff on the in between could have been sitting in the danger zone for 10 of the 14 hours that it's cooking. You can really run into some problems. So one solution is to put stock in the bag. I know Doug Piper, I think, did it he was in our Thanksgiving video course, and he did a version of it where he filled the bag he put the turkey in a bag, then put turkey stock in the bag and basically poached it in the sous vide machine. And that's a good way that the water can heat, and especially if you move it around a little bit as it's heating up, it'll now be cooking it from the inside as well. Um, there is also a recommendation. I think it might have been Rick that recommended it, but you can look through the comments in the whole turkey post to see exactly who it was. But I think it was Rick, that he said when he puts it in the bag, he makes sure that he stuffs his fist into the cavity and shoves the bag into the cavity, and that way the water that's in the bath can circulate around inside of it. But you have to do something like that, and you can't just leave it air, or one, your turkey will float, but it also won't heat through and cook. So those are two options for doing a whole turkey. To me, it seems like a huge pain to do that, to have meat that's not perfectly cooked. But I know some people like the presentation. I've been really happy. If I want something upscale, I keep the dark meat whole, leave the skin on, roast it after I sous vide it, and it gives it some really nice coloring. And I make a turkey roulade out of the breast meat, and that sliced up is really pretty on a plate with the dark meat, and it looks really fancy and upscale. So feel like I'm doing my best to make everyone at the table happy, without having to put in too much energy to do an entire turkey.